Hello, this video is on section 4.6, which is titled Congruence in Right Triangles. And the learning target is to prove right triangles are congruent using the hypotenuse leg theorem. So just as a little bit of a review, if you have a right triangle, the side length that is opposite of the right angle, so if you're looking at your right angle and the side that is opposite or not touching the right angle, this is called the hypotenuse. And both of the other side lengths are the legs of your right triangle. And this is always a 90-degree or a right angle. Okay, so we're going to be talking about a theorem that helps us prove right triangles are congruent a little bit easier than maybe the side angle side or side side side. This one you only need two parts. And those two parts are the hypotenuse and one leg of a right triangle. So if you have a hypotenuse and one leg of a right triangle that are congruent to the hypotenuse and one leg of another triangle, then they are congruent. So for example, if we have two right triangles, ABC and DEF, where the hypotenuses are congruent and one of the legs are congruent. Since the hypotenuse leg theorem allows us to look at the hypotenuse and one of the legs, we can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. So we already have an angle, which is this right angle, since they're both equal to 90, and we have the hypotenuse and a side length. Now hypotenuse is always going to be equal since the right angle is always here, and one of the sides is going to determine how far up the hypotenuse is. So if you have these three parts, and this only works in right triangles. Now remember how I said that angle side side is bad and doesn't work? Well, the only time it does work is if you have a right triangle with one angle and two sides. So there is an exception to this rule only for right triangles. Okay? And some of the other conditions that they're kind of included within the theorem, but I wrote them out in a bit more detailed and explicit bullet points, is that the two triangles must be right triangles. They have to have 90-degree angles. Or one of them is a 90-degree angle. And then the hypotenuse must be congruent and one pair of congruent legs. You can't have two because, again, if you know that corresponding parts of a congruent triangle are congruent, then you'll have eventually two pairs of congruent legs. But in order to prove that the two triangles are congruent, you only need one, and you can only start with one. Okay? So that's all for this video. There's really no examples to show you. We will go over some of them in class. But yeah, that is it. All right, thank you.